Let me ask you something. You've built your world. You've named your characters. You've written the history, the theology, the geography. You've given your villain a scar on the wrong cheek in Chapter 2, then described the same scar on the right cheek in Chapter 17. And here's the thing. You didn't notice. Your editor didn't notice. Your beta readers didn't notice. But somebody's reader, somewhere, is going to notice. And when they do, a tiny fracture opens up in the trust they placed in your world. That is the quiet catastrophe of long-form fiction. Not the plot holes you can see coming, the ones that accumulate invisibly, buried in 80,000 words. Invisible to the human eye because the human eye is too close, too tired, and too in love with the story to see the seams. That is the problem I want to talk about today. And more importantly, I want to show you the solution I found. That tool is NotebookLM. And by the time you finish this article, or this episode, depending on how you're consuming this, you are going to understand exactly how to use it. And you're going to walk away with something specific and practical. At the end of this article, behind the page section, I'm going to give you something I've spent a lot of time refining. It's a prompt. A specific, structured prompt that I feed directly into NotebookLM to conduct what I've started calling a surgical continuity audit. It doesn't just ask the tool to look for errors. It tells NotebookLM exactly what to look for, exactly how to categorize what it finds, and exactly how to present those findings back to me in a format I can act on immediately. I'm going to give you that prompt at the end. All of it, copy-paste ready. But first, let's make sure you actually understand how this tool works, because a prompt without context is just words on a screen. What is NotebookLM, and why should writers care? NotebookLM is a research and writing assistant developed by Google. At its core, it's an AI that operates exclusively within the documents you upload to it. This is the detail that matters most, and the detail that sets it apart from every other AI tool you've encountered. It does not pull from the internet. It does not invent details or hallucinate. It does not reach outside the source material you give it. When you ask it a question, it grounds its entire answer in the texts you uploaded, and it cites exactly which part of your material the answer came from. For writers, this changes everything. I bet you're thinking now about how much of a godsend this could be for your manuscript, or even your entire series. How it works. You create a notebook. Think of it as a project folder. You upload your sources, your manuscript chapters, your world-building documents, your character sheets, your timeline notes, your research. Then you ask it questions. That's it. No training, no fine-tuning, no complex setup. You upload, you ask, it answers, and it shows you exactly where in your own documents the answer lives. What does it cost? Here is one of my favorite things about NotebookLM. The base version is completely free. Google offers a free tier that gives you full access to the core functionality, uploading sources, querying them, running analysis, generating summaries, creating mind maps. For the vast majority of writers reading this, the free tier will be all you ever need. There is a paid tier called NotebookLM Plus, which is part of Google One AI Premium at $19.99 per month. It gives you higher usage limits and some additional features. But I want to be clear. The workflow I'm going to share with you works on the free version. I have used it on the free version. If you have a Google account, you can go to notebooklm.google.com right now and start. Real use cases for writers. Let me be concrete about what NotebookLM can actually do when you feed it a manuscript. It can summarize individual chapters, arcs, or character journeys. It can map the timeline of events across your entire manuscript. It can cross-reference two documents, your outline versus your draft, and identify divergences. It can answer questions like, what do we know about this character's past? Or, Has this location been described consistently across chapters? It can generate an audio overview, essentially a conversation between two AI voices discussing your manuscript, which I will tell you more about in a moment. And yes, when prompted correctly, it can hunt down continuity errors with a precision that would take a human editor hours to replicate. That last one is what we're here for. If you've gotten this far, there's a chance a small voice in the back of your head is asking, "Is this okay? Am I crossing a line by using AI to touch my manuscript?" I want to speak to that directly because I asked myself the same question. The writing, the sentences, the choices, the voice, the heart of the thing remains entirely yours. NotebookLM does not generate prose. It does not suggest rewrites unless you specifically ask. What it does is perform the work of a meticulous, tireless reader who has memorized every single page of your manuscript and can be asked to cross-reference any detail against any other detail at any time. Think of it the way you might think about spell check. Spell check doesn't write your sentences. It flags the errors in the sentences you wrote. NotebookLM is that, but for continuity, logic, and internal consistency, at a scale and speed no human proofreader can match. If your ethics around AI are, "I will not let AI write my words," then NotebookLM does not violate that boundary. Full stop. And if you've poured months or years into a manuscript and you deserve a tool that treats it with the same meticulous attention you gave it, then you deserve this. Let me walk you through how I actually use this tool. Step 1. Upload your sources. I upload my manuscript in chunks, usually by act or by a set of chapters, along with my world-building document and character reference sheet. If I have a timeline document, that goes in too. The more context NotebookLM has, the more precise its analysis becomes. A critical note here: you don't have to upload everything at once. In fact, for surgical work, I often isolate specific chapters. NotebookLM has a source filtering feature. You can tell it to focus only on certain documents rather than scanning the entire notebook. When I want to compare two specific chapters for inconsistency, I filter down to just those two. The analysis becomes sharper. Step 2. Ask it to map the story. Before I go hunting for errors, I ask NotebookLM to orient itself. I'll ask for a chronological summary of events, a character roster with key details, or a summary of established lore. This does two things. It confirms the tool has correctly understood the material, and it occasionally surfaces errors I wasn't even looking for yet. Step 3. The continuity audit. This is where the real work happens. Using a structured prompt, which I'll share with you in a moment, I direct NotebookLM to examine the manuscript for specific categories of error: timeline contradictions, character detail inconsistencies, geographic or logistical impossibilities, and lore violations. What comes back is not a vague summary. It's a categorized list of specific issues, each one cited to the exact location in the manuscript where the contradiction appears. Chapter number, scene, sometimes the specific passage. I then take that list and address each item manually, in my own words, in my own voice. NotebookLM identified the problem. I decide how to fix it. Step 4. Editorial suggestions that don't break anything. Here is something I discovered over time that I didn't expect. When NotebookLM suggests solutions, it does so within the logic of the manuscript as it currently exists. It isn't reaching for generic creative writing advice. It's working from your established rules, your established characters, your established world. That means its suggestions, when I ask for them, don't introduce new contradictions. They operate within the constraints I've already built. This sounds like a small thing. It is not a small thing. Anyone who has ever tried to fix a plot hole and accidentally created two more knows exactly what I mean. The audio overview, an unexpected gift. I want to mention one feature that surprised me more than any other. NotebookLM can generate an audio overview, a simulated conversation between two AI voices that discuss your manuscript as if they were two scholars analyzing it. I know how that sounds. Stay with me. There is something that happens when you hear your own world discussed at a distance, when you're not inside it, when you're walking or driving and two voices are dissecting your themes and your character arcs and your structural choices. You hear things you couldn't see from inside the work. Gaps you had become blind to suddenly become audible. Patterns you hadn't consciously articulated suddenly have names. I have paused mid-walk or mid-workout more than once because of something that surfaced in an audio overview. I recommend trying it at least once. It's strange at first, but it's useful. It's unlike anything else in the writer's toolkit. The prompt I used to conduct a full surgical continuity audit through NotebookLM is waiting for you below this section. It's structured, it's specific, and it works. I've used it on my own manuscripts, I've refined it over time, and I want you to have it. Here's how to access it. Option 1. Become a paid subscriber. For $8 per month, or $50 for the full year, which is a 48% discount, you'll unlock everything the Blackmere Inner Circle has access to. The prompt is waiting for you the moment you subscribe, along with everything else described below. Option 2. Start a free 7-day trial. Not ready to commit? Try it free for 7 days. You'll have full access to the paid archive during that time. No pressure, no obligation. If you decide it's not for you, you can cancel before the trial ends. But I hope you'll find enough in there to want to stay. Option 3. One-time unlock. If you're eligible, you can use Substack's one-time post unlock to access this specific article. You'll get the prompt from this piece, one access on Substack's terms, no subscription required. What's inside the Blackmere Inner Circle? Whether you come through the trial or a full subscription, here is what you're walking into. Exclusive serialized fiction. Currently, that means The Necessary Mercy, my dark historical plague fiction published in chapters for paid subscribers only. Director's commentary. Behind-the-scenes posts where I open up the engine room. Research deep dives, historical context, deleted scenes, the creative decisions I made and why. This is the writing process with the lights on. Build in public. I share my KDP dashboards, my ad spend, my launch results, the numbers that worked and the campaigns that failed. If you're a writer navigating self-publishing, I want you to have real data from someone in the trenches, not a highlight reel. Plot and character polls. Paid subscribers help shape what comes next. Character names, plot direction, story decisions that haven't been made yet. You're not just a reader here, you're a co-creator. Early access. New releases hit the Inner Circle before they hit Amazon or my website. No additional charge. Your subscription pays for it. The $8 morning coffee order. Most people don't think twice about every morning. That's what this costs per month, and it makes the work possible. I want to say something to you before I hand this over. If you've wrestled with whether using a tool like this makes you less of a writer, I understand that feeling. I sat with it too. There is a version of the conversation around AI and writing that tries to make every tool feel like a compromise, like using any assistance is somehow a diminishment of the craft. I don't believe that, and I don't think you should either. You wrote every word of your manuscript. You built the world. You made the characters breathe. You stayed up at the hours when the work demanded it. The fact that you want to protect that work, to make it as clean and consistent and trustworthy as possible, is not a betrayal of the writing. It is a sign of how seriously you take it. NotebookLM is a tool. Like a scalpel is a tool. The surgeon still has to understand the anatomy. The surgeon still has to make the incision. The scalpel just makes it precise. You deserve precision. You deserve to be able to give your readers a world that holds together. And you deserve to do that without paying a professional editor hundreds of dollars or spending weeks rereading your own manuscript with exhausted eyes. This prompt is my gift to you. Use it without guilt. And if you find it useful, I genuinely love to hear about it. Leave a comment, send a note, tell me what it found. I built this in the dark, alone, the way most of us build things. And knowing it helped someone else matters to me more than I can easily say. You'll find access to the prompt in the show notes. Enjoy!